Host Uncommon Fossil, they're taking a look at an ancient box deck with the coming temporal forces. There's new options for both paradox types, the future and the ancient. So taking a look at an ancient box, how that goes, gets a little flexibility, and it's a nice single prize attacking basic deck that can do decent damage, pretty good damage, and is HP can be pretty high. So all very appealing things. So let's take a look at the deck. So it does play for a Roaring Moon. There are Roaring Moon decks as well, but this is very much an ancient box deck because the number of the other ancient attackers in it that we do definitely want to take advantage of and use. But Roaring Moon, the single prize, we're just really attacking with the first attack. Vengeance Fletching for 2 darkness energy does 70 plus 10 more for each ancient card in your discard pile. So this attack gets bigger as the game goes on, and we should hopefully just barely at the end of the game one-shot a Charizard EX. That's very important to be able to do, right? So we're hoping to do that, although it comes very close, right? But a lot of times there's a lot of Charizard out there, and being able to do that is important. There is the second attack, but we're not really ever using that. So then we play 4 copies of Koraidon. Partly because we need ancient cards, but also it's a very good attack, and it really is the best attack early game. It's a dragon type, so it doesn't have any weakness, doesn't hit anything for weakness either. But we have Primordial Beatdown for fighting colorless. We don't have the fire energy with this build, so we can't attack with the second attack. But generally, we're very rarely using that attack, I will say. The second attack is a shred attack. It hits through effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they're playing like Noivern EX and we can't do damage to a basic, well, we probably just scoop at that point. So, but we won't run into that a lot, is the assumption. So Primordial Beatdown, getting back to that, the 2 energy does 30 damage for each of our ancient Pokemon in play. So if we have a full bench, that's 5, 6, so 180 or 150. We do play a Radiant Greninja for an engine, which is not an ancient, but all the other Pokemon are just ancients, 4 of each of them. Keeping one of the things with the deck, which is nice, is the cards we want, they're just 4 of. So, but anyway, the reason part of why Koraidon is really good, it does more damage the early game, the first turn, even the second turn. A lot of times it's better than Roaring Moon. So Koraidon early, Roaring Moon late is kind of the generic game plan, but obviously you have to adapt depending on what it is. Then Flutter Mane, which is situational. It's got retreat cost is 1, which is a big plus. The others are both retreat costs of 3, so we can get 3 energies in play on one turn, and we only play 1 switch card in the deck, so having the retreat cost of 1 is important. And then its ability here, Midnight Fluttering. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities except for Midnight Fluttering. So it shuts down abilities your opponent's active Pokemon. Obviously, the Comfy gets shut down. That's a huge deal. So Lost Zone is very good. So you get this in the active, and your opponent's Comfies are doing nothing. Very, very good there. And the attack is quite useful too. Just keep this in mind. It's situational, but Hex Hurl for 3 energy. It's colorless, so whatever energies we want, potentially we can power it. We can't power it up in 1 turn though. So it does take at least 2 turns to power up. So keep that in mind. But does 90 damage to the active, then you play 2 damage counters on their bench Pokemon any way you'd like. So those 2 extra damage counters can be important, right? If your opponent retreats something to the bench and we can't gust it up, or we can do 90 to the active and place 1 or 2 damage counters and say finish off a multi-prize Pokemon we couldn't with the Roaring Moon or the Koraidon. It's just a nice Pokemon in a number of ways, and of course it's an ancient card, so it does boost Roaring Moon's damage. And then 1 copy Radiant Greninja. We need to get energies in the discard pile because we play Professor Sada's Vitality. We'll get to that. You probably know what it is, but if not, it needs energies in the discard pile. So Radiant Greninja, concealed cards, you discard a card from hand in order to use this ability, you draw 2 cards. So it's the only engine piece we have. It makes us vulnerable to a control because we can't attack with it. And with this build, I dropped the Professor Turo's scenario, so once it's in play, I can't get it out of play. So we have that vulnerability as well. So just need to be aware of that downside. And but I think it's worth the risk. You could change the trainers to help to put the Professor Turo scenario back in play. I'll get to that with the trainers in a minute. But it's an engine piece, super, super important. So just 8 energies. That's really what all the ancient boxes are playing. 6 darkness energy. That's pretty much what they all play. I'm playing 2 fighting. Sometimes it's 1 fighting, one fire. I dropped the fire, went to the fighting because first off, I was basically never using the second attack on Koraidon. There are times that it's better both for the shred effect or just because you're doing more damage. But again, you usually don't want to getting 3 energies on. You can't do it in one turn. And if that one fighting energy was prized, that was a problem. So therefore, I think the 2 fighting just makes the deck a little bit more consistent. And that's with a deck like this, consistency is what we're really striving for. All right, getting into the trainers here. I'll start with the ancient cards because that's, again, just a huge part of the deck. So we play 4 Professor Sada's Vitality, choose up to 2 ancient Pokemon, and attach a basic energy from your discard pile to each of them. You actually don't. And then if you attach an energy that way, you draw 3 cards. You actually can't play Sada's Vitality if there's no energies in the discard, or also if you didn't have an ancient card in play. So you can't just use it to draw 3 cards, so just be aware of that. But a very good card, Melanie, which would accelerate 1 energy to a water energy to a V Pokemon and drew 3, was a very good card. This accelerates 2 energies, so it should be a very good card. The attacks we're using are primarily 2 energy attacks, so therefore it lets us power ourselves up in 1 turn. Then 4 copies of Explorer's Guidance. This is the new ancient supporter. You look at the top 6 cards of your deck, put 2 into your hand, discard the other cards, so the other 4 get discarded. So we build up the number of ancients in the discard pile for Roaring Moon, and we get the 2 cards that we need for that turn, so very nice there. Then we play 4 copies of Earthen Vessel, just a very good item card that goes in a lot of decks, but certainly since we need ancient cards, we get 4 copies here in our deck list. You discard a card from hand, and of course, could be an ancient card. Then you search your deck for 2 basic energies, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck, and that it allows us to get the fighting when that's what we need, or darkness, and just lets us. It's just very important in the deck, right? And then we have 4 copies of the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, a very good tool. It's a good tool in and of itself. Your ancient Pokemon do get 60 more HP, so we have the primary attackers are 140 HP, so now they're up to 200 HP, which means before we've taken a knockout, Charizard EX does not one-shot us. Very good there. And there are decks like Anarcheus V-Star with a double turbo attached, does not one-shot us. And there's some other things that will come up a little short too. So that extra 60 HP is very important. And you're immune to special conditions. That's usually not the biggest part, but the extra 60 HP is useful. And of course, it's an ancient card, so just be aware of when you want it attached versus when you want it in the discard pile. Generally, don't attach them before you need them, because first there is lost zone format, in which case then it doesn't give you protection and it doesn't go in the discard pile. So it hurts. It's like a double hurt there. Keep it in your hand generally until it's on the active and meaningful. And partly because you could lose them, but also because you might want to discard them, let's say with Earthen Vessel or something, the following turn to boost your damage number. So that flexibility is good. And then we're playing Awakening Drum as the A-Spec in the deck. This is the ancient A-Spec. You draw a card for each of ancient Pokemon in play. So hopefully you're drawing like 5 cards or something. Very nice on an item. So it's a fun card to have. It is good. Obviously, we need to draw it into hand. So, with Explorer's Guidance or something, or Sada's Vitality, we're getting that. The question, you don't know when you're going to get it in the game, though. That is the randomness to it. So those are the ancient cards. Let's to get Pokemon in play. We play 4 Nest Balls because we need to get. It's all basics. There's no on-playability, so 4 Nest Balls. And I think, okay, this build is 3 Ultra Balls. Sometimes there's as many as 4. Sometimes down to 2 from the lists I've seen. I'm going with 3 here. Discard 2 cards, which we know about discarding ancient cards, and put a Pokemon into your hand. So very good there. We have two super rods, just getting to things that deal with Pokemon. Shuffle in a combination of Pokemon and or basic energy from the discard pile into your deck. Very good as things get discarded. At some point, we need to get some back. It's a basic attacking deck. We might need to attack, say, with 5 or 6 Roaring Moon in a game, in which case we have to rod some back, or we can't do that. And then 1 Superior Energy Retrieval, discard 2 cards, and put up to 4 basic energy, so the discard pile into your hand. We're losing energies as the game goes on. We don't have a lot of them, so at some point, getting them back into hand becomes necessary besides putting them in the deck. So it's just, we just got to keep the deck flowing there. In terms of recover, we do play 1 copy of Pal Pad, put up to 2 supporters in the discard pile into your deck. That's very good. Some builds of the deck do play Boss and Professor Turo's Scenario. I dropped those, just keeping it to the Ancient supporters only. This is an item-based deck, which means we play PokéStop, by the way. I'll deal with this and then get to the other items. So PokéStop's the stadium. You discard the top 3 cards from your deck. Any items that were discarded that way go into your hand. So very good there. So but partly because you discard supporters in the process is why I've dropped the Boss and the Professor Turo Scenario. You don't always get, you lose them. You can recover it with Pal Pad, but then you still have to get it into hand again later. So, and partly because PokéStop, like I said, that's why Super Rod before is important too. Playing Switch Cart, we don't need a basic switch because they're all basic Pokemon. Switch Cart is just better for all basic Pokemon. You switch and you heal 30 from the active if it's damaged, but even if you're not damaged, you can still switch. Originally, I had a Professor Turo Scenario, which is better in some cases, but I was finding I'm usually playing Sada or Explorer's Guidance most turns, in which case then I would still want to, but which meant I couldn't really use the Turo very often. So I think the Switch Cart's just a little more useful. It's a little more valuable in most situations. Obviously, like in a control matchup, I'll be sad about this, but I think most of the time this is the better play. 3 counter catcher. This is, since it's a PokéStop deck and I dropped the Boss, 3 counter catchers is, this is the gusting in the deck. Single prize deck, I can fall behind prizes a lot of times because my opponent has to take 6 knockouts, and most of the time I'm hitting into multi-prize Pokemon, so I can fall behind and still jump ahead of them for the win at the end of the game. And 4 copies of Pokégear. Don't have an engine, so Pokégear is just a really good card. Look at the top 7 cards in your deck. Put a supporter there into your hand. Let's see, is that all the cards? Just taking a look through the list. I think it is. So that's the list. Keeping a lot of 4-ofs of the key cards here just for consistency, and because the deck doesn't have much of an engine, so 4-ofs is the rule for a deck like this, and it's a very solid deck. It's a little tricky to play, and I'm still learning the angles with it, but it is a pretty solid deck. Like I said, a single prize attacking deck. Everybody likes single prize decks. Does solid damage, a decent HP, so very appealing. So let's just take a look at the deck in action now. All right, let's see what happens here. Last game didn't go great, I will say, but is what it is. Gengar coin might be a Gengar deck. I know I have to do Gengar soon. Haven't done that yet, so Gengar seems very annoying. And I do want to do Great Tusk Mill, but I think I'm going to wait at this point until Pokemon fixes live. I don't know that, so they're attacking. They want to go second. So, okay, so actually this is good. Flutter Mane is very nice for me. So this could be huge because Lost Zone is what it could be. It's okay. I mean, not great. Not great at all. Okay, so I will PokéStop, I guess, first. See what happens there. An Earthen Vessel. I need Pokemon in play, right? This is not a good situation, I gotta say. It's a very bad situation. So what do I want to get rid of? All right, I'm going to do this. Do I grab a Koraidon? I'm going to drop a Koraidon down. I don't know. I'm not loving this spot. I think I need to keep the rod. I need to Earthen Vessel something away, though. Actually, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go aggressive and I'm going to get rid of the rod. I figure they're going to knock me out, right? That's my thought. I need to get an energy attached. Hopefully they can only knock out the active. That's my thought right now. They can only knock out the active and just end turn. Best case scenario is they knock out Flutter Mane for 1 prize. That's the best case scenario. So Flutter Mane's not I don't think it does anything for this matchup because it shuts off the Iron Crown's ability only when it's in the active, and the Iron Crown doesn't boost itself. So I don't think it's at all helpful. So, you know, but obviously Iron Hands, which I'm assuming that's what this build is a good, it's not a great matchup, and it's one of the decks that wants to go second. Sorry, that's what I was going to say. Besides, whereas Lawson wants to go second, obviously if I can get Flutter Mane in the active, I'm super happy, but against this matchup, 40, 50, 60, right now they're 10 shy of the knockout, I think, which would be great, I guess. I actually don't know if that's good. That probably is bad, actually, because now I can't attack. Now I'm kind of just stuck here, right? I think I'm stuck. And they're going to take multiple prizes next turn, I assume. I'll PokéStop, see what happens. Okay. I'm just going to attach and pass, I guess. Wait, I'm just going to sit on these resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ancient cards. Okay. I mean, this is probably just, I need to scoop here. I could have got Ultra Ball, got another, like a Roaring Moon into play, and attached to that, so I would have 1 energy on Roaring Moon, 1 energy on Koraidon. And maybe that was the play to make. Because at this point, if they gust up my Koraidon, I can't attack, right? And the Koraidon's not going to take the knockout either. Right now, the Koraidon might just be doing 30. So, okay. So, I mean, I could get 60 with it. We'll see what happens here. So, I can counter Catcher this turn. That part is good. I guess I gust up the Iron Crown without the tool, maybe. See what I draw into. So, I want to I'll PokéStop, see what I get. Wow, okay, well, 30. I mean, this is just horrible beyond horrible. I think I need. All right, I'm gonna get a Roaring Moon and play. The problem is I can't get any energy attached, and I could have discarded it differently. I could have kept the Earthen Vessel, but then it would have been the last card in hand, right? So he's doing 60. So all I can really do is gust him up and hope they can't get out of the active next turn. That's my best play here, right? Yeah, I mean it's pretty horrific here. So yeah, so this is a bad spot I'm in here. So they get their Techno Radar, which they may use, but that's not the piece they need, right? They need a Switch Cart. I assume they play Switch Cart in the deck. Okay. See what I draw. And I will Explorer's Guidance. Might as well do that. What's in the discard? Do I have energy in the discard? I do, too. So, okay, so I need a Sada's for next turn. And I'll grab a tool as well. Let's think. At 200, they need 4 boosts, right? Which I don't know if they can do that. So let me see what I hit here. This is a bit of a risk. I should have done this first, I guess, right? I'm going to say, hey, you can't knock me out this next turn. Things are going very slowly, but let's think. Well, I don't know. I need two more ancient Pokemon to play to get the knockout next turn, right? And I'm getting a lot of ancient Pokemon in the discard pile, which could be a problem as well. One Rod's gone, so they got the retreat that turn. So they're taking, so they, I thought they were going to miss it. Oh no, they didn't get the extra prize. So that's the good news. They only got one prize for it. So I need to get the knockout here. Really, really simple here. Okay, so let me Nest Ball him. Let's see, what do I have in deck? I do have a Rod, Drum. Okay, so energy. All right, so I'm going to invite Sada's first, I guess. I do have energy, so darkness. Okay, I got the... What am I doing for damage right now? 250. I do one-shot them. I can't get the tool. I could use my PokéStop, but I don't think that really helps me as much as I'd like. So I get the knockout. They... If they get 2 energies attached to their to their other iron hands, they do grab 2 prizes, and that part's not good, right? This is where the iron hands is a tricky matchup here. They're gonna send, I should assume they'll send the Iron Crown with the tool attached, yeah. And have they played any electric generator yet? They played one, so they need one energy off electric generator and 1 attachment. Otherwise, they're gonna have to use the... Well, no, they actually can. They do. Let's think. They need 80. So they have 1, 2. So they need either 2 more Iron Crowns or an Iron Crown and a tool attached, right? Although they would like to use... So that what they can't do, though, which is what they love to do, is have the tool that moves the energy and another Iron Crowns on the bench and one shot with the MP very much. They can't make that happen. All right, so what's the... Okay. All right. I mean, it's not terrible. Energy, I should be able to 2-shot. Should be able to 1-shot them again. I just need to hit an energy, and I'm actually guaranteed to get energy. So that's good. I think I want to ditch the Radiant Greninja. I'm thinking I don't want that. I need to get another Pokemon to play, and I can do that. So I have a chance here the way this game's going. Let me do this, and let me just take a look partly in the deck. All I have is a Flutter Mane, so I've got to hit this Rod. Do I want to... Okay, so... I think the problem... So I need the Rod, but if I could lose the supporters with the PokéStop, right? And then I'd be in a ton of trouble, right? So do I want to... Let's see, he does what, 90 and places 20? Huh. All right, I'm gonna I also risking running out of... Okay, well, those are all good cards to get to hand. I'm risking running out of cards in deck 2. All right, I'm gonna have to just drop this guy down. I don't like it. I don't think I want to attack with him, but I think I need to get some energy elsewhere. And I'm not loving my spot, I gotta say. The problem is, maybe I messed up because... you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to attach an attack, I guess. It's not good. None of this is good here, right? All right, I need to get the Rod into hand, and I missed the Rod again. Drop the tool. So now I am one-shotting you, so... All right, I'll do this, and hopefully they can't one-shot me back, right? Because I'm in a bit of a situation here. I am potentially 1 knockout away from game. All right, Koraidon. I mean, I wish I had Koraidon to play last turn as well. I can't use Counter Catcher now. You know, now's the time of the game when boss would be awesome, right? Because they're, I think, not going to knock me out. He does 100. I mean, he does 90, so he ends up 10 short on this Iron Crown, which is very unfortunate. It's an interesting spot. I'm also close to decking out, so I really need the rod. I desperately need the rod. The problem is the rod might end up... I really don't want to dig in my deck, though. That's the other problem. It's a big problem. I need Sada. Man. I have Superior Ninja Retrieval, which is good. Okay, Iono. Okay, so that's actually probably good. And now I don't mind using PokéStop, which is good too. So I can rod. So now I can get my Roaring Moon into play next turn. And that's nice. They missed there. So they get what? 2 energies any way they like. They don't knock me out. The tool ended up not being meaningful, but that's okay. Now I can PokéStop, and there were 6 cards in deck, right? I believe so. The Iono goes to the bottom. So 2, I draw 1, and then I see 3 more. So I'm guaranteed to hit PokéStop this turn. I'm pretty certain. So I'm gonna do that. And I have the Nest Ball, which is good. I mean, the Super Rod, sorry, is what I meant to say. Okay. So, no, I have to rod first. And I want you back. How much damage am I doing right now? 280, doing way more. So I can get back. I'll grab this. Now let me... Yeah, I'll do this. Okay, so... So I grab you. You go into play there. I will grab you. I want this energy. I think that, well, actually, I don't need the energy, right? I'll grab this. Okay, that's good. I can get back the energy with Superior Ninja Retrieval. Get rid of Earthen Vessel, I guess. Get rid of the Roaring Moon. Switch Cart's good. Yeah, I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Okay. So I may be able to close this out. I just attack this turn. And I have game in hand, but we'll see what happens. So, okay. So got... Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it was, you know... That rod ended up being near the bottom of the deck, which made life difficult. I think I'm able to pull it out. And I do. I mean, they get the knockout, but they know I have game here. So, because they know I grabbed energy to hand. And I had the Switch Cart. So the biggest risk was Iono. Iono down to 1 was going to mean I couldn't do much. That was going to be the problem. But, so boom. And have game, so worked, you know, got kind of dug through that game. Did I maximize every play around it? You know, there's a lot of a single prize deck like this that it's just a deck with a lot of decisions, a lot of figuring out the angles, when to do things. Made certainly some decisions I'm pretty confident were correct, but I probably didn't maximize every turn, so I'm gonna have to think this through. You know, games like this. Get the win, that's great. You do want to, you know, you always want to learn from the games, win or lose. So don't just be happy, I won, it was great. Want to think things through. What could I have done differently just to get better with the deck? Because that's a big part of growing. But, hey, the deck did its job. In a tricky matchup, my opponent obviously wasn't able to ever get off the Iron Hands for, they weren't able to use the Ampy very much attack. But the tool does come in handy for that. So that worked out quite well that game. All right, let's see what happens this game. All right, so I'll go second. I'll say no. Maybe I should go first, though. Honestly, going second, maybe just wishful thinking. It probably is better to slow down my opponent. All right, so Koraidon the active is good. Okay. I mean, it's not terrible. I might be able to attack. Might be able to attack for, what, 60? I mean, 60 is not enough, but I might be able to attack for more than 60. I'm going to need to drop the Radiant Greninja. I can Radiant Greninja, get rid of energy. Palkia, so probably Palkia Goldingo, I would guess. So that's not... Now, they... Okay, I was going to say, oh, it could be Palkia Bex. No, so it's Goldingo. It could be Palkia Chen Pal. I haven't seen that deck in a while. Palkia Goldingo is the better, more common build. Well, that was a terrible start for my opponent, so I'm liking that. I'm not going to be able to take them out, but I can Sada's Vitality. I'll save the Pokégear. I could Pokégear just a thin. Okay, do I want to... Let's think. If I Sada's, I gotta have... I'm going to Sada's. I wonder if this was the wrong play. If I should have... So I can't attack. I didn't get my other energy. I needed to get the... anyway, Roaring Moon's good. I'm dropping down. Missed the fighting energy and also missed the Earthen Vessels, right? So 2 are prized, though, huh? Okay, well, that's unfortunate. So 2 Earthen Vessel prize. So I'll drop this energy onto my Roaring Moon. I could drop down Flutter. Is there a reason I want Flutter Mane in play? All right, I'm going to switch card into Flutter Mane. I might regret this because now I don't have a way to get him out of the active, but this... I have Explorer's Guidance, and I can kind of just set up my bench at this point. And against Palkia, right? Palkia can't use its V-Star power now. And Goldingo, EX can't draw for 2. They just knock me out, though, and that part's okay. So I will send up the Roaring Moon. There's no energy there, right? So I have to explore his Guidance. I have to get at least 1 energy into hand. I'm not going to one-shot them, unfortunately. And there we go. Get the fighting energy just to kind of... Game wants to mock me there. Is there a reason I'd want to... I'll discard the energy. I might regret that. PokéStop's not bad, though. Do I want to... So I'll explore his guidance and kind of see what happens here. I missed the energy. I didn't think I'd miss the energy. I really did not think I would miss the energy. So that's terrible beyond... I mean, that's just kind of beyond terrible, right? I'll grab the counter catchers. I assume my opponent's going to get going at some point. That's kind of my thought there. I have Earthen Vessel, so let me PokéStop and hope. It's not great. But if I get Earthen Vessel, and I did... Oh, that's very nice, too. So I'm liking that a lot. Okay, so let me... I get 4 cards. I could get 1 more card in play. Okay, got my energy that way, so I will... What's the damage level now? I'm doing 140. I could discard some more cards, but I think I'm happy with this. So 140. They can now use their V-Star power, so both my fighting energies are discarded. So but I have Sada's Vitality, so I can get those back in play. So Nest Ball, they're pleased about that. Might just want to gust up the Goldingo this turn, right? If that's what they do. Okay. What's the energy situation? Okay, so I don't want them to toss a lot of energy onto... I think I'm going to take out the Goldengo, though. I'm thinking. Although, taking out the Palkia for 2 is pretty nice as well. So they played Canceling Cologne, which means they could shut off the Flutter Mane with that, right? And, you know, I still could toss a Flutter Mane at them. Obviously, I have 3 more in my deck. So, so they knock me out... So I need to take the knockout here. I think I want to take the 2 prizes. That's what I'm thinking I do. Just keep the pressure up that way. All right, so let me... So what's he doing right now? 150, which is plenty. So let me ditch... I'll get rid of both Explorer's Guidance because Sada's just good because I'm going to need the acceleration, right? I need this guy. Okay, I have another one on deck. That's good. I've got 1 rod. Okay. So I'm going to... I have... yeah. So I have my energy. So I'll accelerate to 2 Roaring Moons. I do have the fighting to toss onto the Koraidon at some point as well. That's pretty good too. How do I want to work this? I think I'll drop the Pokégear. I think I want to drop down my other Roaring Moon, right? Because I'm going to want him. So when I drop him onto the bench, I'm thinking... And yeah. Just trying to set up down the road. It's 10 less from the damage as the game goes on, of course, but I'm at 190 and I can keep ramping it up. So take 2 prizes. So we're tied now, right? That kind of takes the Radiant Greninja out of play probably, unless they start to work on another Palkia, which they could. But now they have the Goldengo. I assume they're going to knock me out. They don't need that many cards. The tool could end up being useful this game as well. I mean, the tool's good. It gives me protection. Okay, Letter of Encouragement. I do like that. Don't see that in a lot of the decks, but get some 3 energy there if they were knocked out last turn. So, you know, I like to play. I think I was playing 1 copy of Letter of Encouragement, at least at one point in time. I'm not sure my last time I played Goldengo which way I had it. And I did find the Palkia build to actually work surprisingly well. So Buddy PAF, and that's very good for them. So I've got to one-shot them, right? That's the big deal. So what did I do last turn for damage? That's the easiest way to check. I think it will tell me, right? Did 190, so I need... So it's 200. So then I still need 6 more cards in the discard pile. 6. So that's a fair amount. I mean, it's doable though. It is doable for sure. And I have my stadium, so that's pretty good too. So I will need to get. I need to get the 1 shot, right? It's very simple here. I need to 1 shot you. Energies. I'll just accelerate first. Might get my 2 energies going. Boom and boom. I wish I didn't have both Koraidons in play, so maybe I messed that up. So at this point, so I need 5 more. So I can, let's think here. 1. And I'm going to PokéStop and see what happens. See where that gets me numbers-wise. So it got me 2 more. So now I need 3 more. I have 1, 2, 3. So I need to get rid of all these cards, I guess. And that's okay. I can do that. So, all right. So we get rid of that. I'm now at 2. I need to do 10 more. So let me get rid of this, and I'll get rid of the PokéStop. So they one-shot me very easily. And I could even to get 10 more damage, but there's no need to do that. So I'm at 260. So let me attach here and take the knockout. And so I'm in a very solid position now, I think. So they take 3 more prizes. So okay, they could, yeah. I mean, I'm in very good position. I mean, unless they were to start powering up Radiant Greninja and gust something up for get me stuck there a few turns, which can happen. That can definitely happen with this deck. But Goldingo EX, I just blow you up, right? I don't think there's anything they can do. They have to take out a Roaring Moon, really, with the 2 energies. Gusting up the Koraidon is very awkward for me. So let's see what they do here. I mean, they could play a stall game, but okay, they're going to play stall. All right. I mean, okay. Let me. So now I got to pay attention. So what's my supporter? So I have 1 Sada's left. So I'm gonna. So if I hit Sada's, I win the game, right? Okay. So I mean, so they are going for that. So they're going for that stall. Wow. I mean, that's. All right, well, I look at all 7 in the deck, right? So I should. Let me Pokégear first. Let's just see what's in the deck. So I have Sada's Vitality. Okay, because I want to check with Pal Pad too. If I needed to hit the Pal, if I didn't have Sada's, if that was prized, I could have Pal Padded. But so I see 7, so I don't need to chuck down the. So now I just retreat and I take knockout. So super nice there. I will attach. Might as well attach here since I'm at it. I draw 3 cards. Just retreat. Take the knockout. I mean, they were taking what was a rather desperate line of play, I would say, but probably the only line of play that they had, right? They really were just extending the game with that play, which it didn't, made me work that turn, but probably, they needed 3 more knockouts still before I did this. So the odds of, they were pretty much in an impossible situation, but, they just did the only thing they could, but, didn't work out for them. So, got a couple wins there. It's not the easiest deck, I will say. That was what I said, I think, in the intro, having played the deck some. This is a deck that I think you need to play it a lot, or just be a really, really strong player. For me, I'm an okay player, but to get real strong with the deck, I got to play it a lot, and I haven't played it to that point. I'd probably I would need to play this deck probably a bunch for like a week before I get solid with it, I would say, because it's a complicated deck. But it's a good deck, and it's a fun deck too. So if this type of deck appeals to you, definitely give it a try. And if you just want to kind of grind with this deck for a bit and you find that fun, definitely go ahead. Anyway, have some fun, play some Pokemon, and take care.